2025. I'm just trying to get ahead of myself, and I'll start doing the others here in this next short little while. Sorry guys, I have cat hair all over because I clearly have cats. Anyway, so I just pulled a few random cards here, and we'll just sort of start. Right off the bat, I'm just going to say it looks like there is going to be some challenge in the month of April, but for the most part, it seems like it's all about balance, balance, balance. Again, you definitely have some cards here showing up that you are uh, you're in that space of trying to remain balanced for sure. We have the Justice card, and I guess because this is sort of off to the side here, I should just pull these through. I'm just going to pull this over here for a second. All right, so I guess for the sake of this reading, I might just pull over the initial cards and then we'll kind of go through the rest one by one. Okay, so we'll start with those. I don't know if that's all that visible here, but sorry guys, I just do a makeshift thing here to get things started. Anyway, so what I'm looking at here, so I'll just try to bring this a little bit closer. So the Justice card is what I see coming out here for the month of April. That is an indicator. I don't know if that's clear there. There we go. Okay, so the Justice card is coming out here initially, and that does indicate that there is a certain level of balance that you're trying to maintain in this month. So as I said, this is, the sword of truth. Is kind of here as well, but we also have that indicator that there is some sense of weighing options or trying to keep things balanced. As I said, I do feel like it might be around a decision of some sort here because we do have around a direction, because we do have a lot of cards of decision here. So it could be something that you're trying to weigh pros and cons against, but it is basically something that represents balance and impartiality in the grand scheme of things. So overall, I feel like this is where it's a time where things are, there's an accountability, there's a cause and effect kind of karmic element here as well. So this is again general information first, and then we'll kind of go through the clarifying cards here as well. But the card in itself does, does indicate that there is some sense of cause and effect or some kind of integrity that's based around a decision. So could be a difficult process or something here that you're trying to restore. But because we do have the Justice card with the a follow-up card with a direction, this could even be something around a vehicle that is kind of being balanced out. But Justice and the Chariot, so there's something here that might be kind of moving in your favor, basically. But either way, this does indicate that there is a powerful, deep sense of, movement toward a particular direction. So either way, very strong, distinct energies. There's also that indicator that there is some kind of truth or fairness that is required around a decision. Again, it could be around a vehicle, or it could be around a decision period that you're, using a lot of willpower and discipline to overcome some kind of obstacle, because it is a strong force with that combination. And hi to you, Alingo. But either way, this combination does suggest something that is a legal or an ethical battle, and the outcome is basically going to be dependent on your ability to stay focused and disciplined and true to what is right. So there is that energy around accountability and decisions, but there's also decisive action, because the Chariot is a quick moving card. It does show that there's a certain element of control in that pairing, and it's also a need to sort of balance out that energy. So there's something here about overcoming an external challenge, and Justice requires that you be fair in that process, or at least tend to, things in an ethical way of some sort. So if there is a power dynamic or there's a conflict of interest, again, you're being advised to sort of push forward in your integrity, but always keeping things in alignment with what is right. So overall, again, it's still a really strong, successful pairing, because it does indicate that there is leadership in a situation, and again, strong focus, balance to succeed in something. So whether this is a personal matter or whether this is something legal, the situation does indicate that there is decisive action regardless. The other part of it is that you could be facing a bit of a challenge or a conflict. We should just pull another card just to be sure. You could be facing a conflict or a challenge, because that combination does indicate that you have the strength to overcome it regardless, and you're staying true to that moral compass, all of that, but you wouldn't want to cut corners, that kind of thing. So what are we seeing here? What is the conflict, or is it a conflict with the Justice card and the Chariot? Justice card and the Chariot. What is that needs to be aligned and the goal is focused on? Okay, this could be in around something. The Five of Pentacles is a feeling of being in lack. So, so it feels like there's something here that you're coming. That is a feeling of lack in terms of finances, or feeling like you are not enough in some way. And again, the Five of Pentacles does indicate a lot of other attributes as well. But the Justice, the Chariot, and the Five of Pentacles is still cards of overcoming whatever that obstacle was. And again, Five of Pentacles does indicate that there is, you're overcoming some kind of hardship, maybe with integrity or with how you feel about something. So there's more hope in a situation because it's restoring something back to a sense of balance. So again, you may have been going through some kind of a difficult period in terms of finances, or feeling isolated, or a sense of lack, but there is hope in this situation. And the Chariot urges you to stay focused and again, maintain responsibility, integrity, because that is going to be the very thing that helps you to overcome, the obstacles in your path or in your way. And again, that is more to do with, I did specifically ask in some areas here around finances, are more toward the end, but the initial balance here seems to be in around relationships. So I would say that that in terms of that combination, it does feel like you are having to really, I don't want to say stand up for yourself because it's really not in that space, but it definitely feels in some way. I'm just trying to think here because again, back to the Justice card here as well, the main energy that's out are two big major arcana. So again, the major arcana for this read, and again, the other one is the clarifier, but the main card that's out is Justice. And so really this is, you coming through in your reading. So it feels like it's a strong position, where you might be preparing documents and going forward with something and sort of getting there's a cause and effect to whatever it is that you're needing to read here. But either way, I just feel like the decision is really based in facts. So again, there's something here about it's great for new connections, or great for connections with that card, and it feels like balancing the books, balancing the hardships, bringing your life back into balance, rearranging your priorities. It's all of that. It's starting to, where things did suffer in terms of a car situation, or in terms of your own personal well-being, it feels like there's a clearer picture on how to accomplish something and to go for it. Because again, there's a strong drive in regards to that. So even in terms of connections, although I am feeling like there's something very contractual about this, it does feel like there is, health even in terms of that. It's balance, balance, balance. So again, there's a lot of things here that I feel are around kind of returning the cycles back to balance. I mean, it's not just with those cards. There is other cards out here that sort of speak to the same. I would say that the only other thing that I'm going to say here is, because there's your card here that does come out not as the main card, not out as the main energy, but there is a card that comes out here in regards to a tower moment. But I will get to that here in a again, it's just more the clarifying energy. But as far as the Two of Cups, that again is, the same thing. It's twos are all about balance. So Two of Cups with Two of Cups could be dealing with a Gemini, or a connection, in a relationship that is balancing out here as well in the month of April. But there's something overall here that seems like it's starting to turn around, is what I would say there. There's just more of a balance, more of a reciprocity. There's a deep connection that's implied with the Two of Cups, and there's also that importance of that particular relationship. Doesn't have to be love. It can also be, friendships or whatever it is that's of the same sort of. And yes, I've combined two decks, but it would be more of a balanced, harmonious relationship or connection. And again, doesn't have to be romantic, but it's just something that is very emotionally tied and connected to you. So it's a really favorable new beginning in some way, or balancing out in some way. So for those that are in existing relationships, indicate that things are very strong and much more harmonious, and that there's a period of, increased understanding that's going on there, and maybe an emotional closeness, but also more communication, more mutual respect. Which is helping to lead to that greater and understanding. So there's also something here, um, and this seems to be the main energy as far as some significant connection or partnership. So whatever that communication is, it looks to be quite positive in the month of April. Now, here's another connection that's coming up in here. And again, I see the Strength card out there, and this feel like it is separate from the original one. Um, so the Strength card in the tarot, in terms of a relationship, does mean that there is sort of a strong emotional, strong emotional sort of connection. I would say there's also kind of a persevering nature here. It does indicate that there is a need to sort of strive toward balance with this one. It can be a Leo energy that's also coming through here, but it's also trust in your own abilities. There is a strong person here that you may be trying to exercise some control over with the Tower card, or somebody is trying to do that with you. But either way, it does feel like it's raw, sort of fighting, kind of taming the beast sort of energy, and there's an opposition. So it does imply that you need to look for some balance with this other connection. There's also something here as well about breaking through, and overcoming kind of an obstacle. And I say that because it's also paired with, this could be in relation to a romantic connection with this one, because it does show the Hierophant. But either way, there's an element of patience. There's an element of, you know, finding, a way to approach the conflict or the difficulty with a gentle sort of approach. But again, it feels something here that is a little bit off center. So there's something here that sort of strikes and creates a little bit of imbalance. And again, maybe that's why we're seeing so many cards of making decisions and creating more balance. But thing here that in regards to a legal matter or something contractual that seems to produce a more powerful new beginning. So again, I feel like whatever this is, it's like something suddenly comes through, because the strength is about mastering your impulses and your emotions, all of that. So again, there's connection through a certain element of vulnerability, but again, the true strength is when you can, find a way to build a deeper emotional bond within a situation. But either way, so again, in terms of a relationship, it does suggest that the bond between you and somebody else is fairly, it has the potential to be built on something solid, because it is followed up with, or started out with the, even though the tower is in there, we do actually have the strong card of the Hierophant, with a strong connection and union. So again, there's something that needs to be sort of reined back. There's a strength in this to heal and move forward with patience. But again, there's a little bit of a tower moment here that upsets the balance of things, where you feel a little bit of a power struggle. You're overpowered, or somebody else is feeling overpowered. But either way, in terms of a relationship, it just feels like you need to rely on some inner strength here to, kind of build this up. Because again, there's a strong connection. And it does feel like it's built on a strong connection, a strong foundation. And not only that, I'm also seeing the Ace of Pentacles. So that is also a strong connection. It's also a very grounded sort of energy. So the Ace of Pentacles is also indicating, and again, for some of you, this is further out. This is not the main energy. This is just a clarifier. So again, the Ace of Pentacles does indicate that there is going to be some new prosperity that is a little bit further out, that somehow impacts a connection or a relationship. But there's positive rewards for the hard work, and there is, again, that there's a plan that's being initiated, the timing is right. You could be upgrading something in regards to a relationship or a connection. Something might be starting to change there, but it just feels like, despite that tower moment, something about a new something new is allowing itself to be represented with this Ace of Pentacles. And again, it's a grounded foundation. And again, there's still elements of wanting to work through this with the Eight of Pentacles. So you've got a lot of energy around still working on something in terms of a connection, that I feel like your focus is really quite strong in this month for April. Because it's almost like you're approaching mastery in a particular situation. It's tied to your self-worth, your confidence, all of that. But again, there's something here about the responsibilities that you really need to continue to live up to, and pay attention to the small details, because again, that will be the things that help to deepen the bond between you and another person, because there is something here that you have to do consistently to... Sorry, I was just reading... Oh, Tarot Destroyer. Ah, okay. Anyway, yeah, well, that's true enough. But anyway, I just feel like you're reaching for a better life here in some way, even in terms of your overall, just even in terms of your overall sense of direction. I just feel like things are going in a more positive direction, where you can start to take some pride in what it is that you do. There's a lot more leveling up energy, but again, it's through hard work. And that when I see this card come out here as well, the Wheel of Fortune, again, it's further out, but it does indicate more of a card that's going to have more impact. That's where the Wheel of Fortune will have more of an impact a little further out. But again, it's a favorable card for you. So just overall feels as though things are going in the right direction. So again, you've got connection to love and destiny, and you also have, some luck that's going with you here. Overall, it's a turning point in your life that, is going to help you to gain some traction. But there is something here about you're entering a new work cycle. So again, I feel like this could be even discovering your life purpose, but going beyond, going through your, I don't want to say going beyond your limits, but just keeping within your limits, but doing it in a very slow, steady pace. A lot of the energy feels like it is hard work. And again, a lot of things coming through here in regards to legal documents or something contractual. There is something here about not getting stuck in, a holding pattern. There's also a certain element of risk that comes with this card as well. So maybe you're setting up some kind of a business or something here, but either way, things are rebalancing. And I feel like this is kind of a divine direction is where you're headed. So this is, again, where you're finding your core strength, and you're able to create, some kind of fortune for yourself. And there's a lot of responsibility that comes with this particular combination. Now, there's one last card that's underneath here as well, and that would be the level up card. So I do feel that the Three of Pentacles is definitely that card of, mastering something. You've taken it to the next level, whatever this is. So the Wheel of Fortune with the Three of Pentacles is, is that sense of having a good... Sorry, I don't know if you can hear the sirens out there. But anyway, it is a sense of craftsmanship, and you have to collaborate. You have to get some other, people in there to help you, sort of a common goal. There's others that can help you to collectively bring your skill or your talent to the table. So you require additional knowledge, and able to sort of make this come to life, whatever it is that you're working on. There is something here again about a suddenness in regards to this connection. It doesn't have to be with relationships specifically. Whatever this is with that powerful tower and the Hierophant, it's like it's almost an epiphany, and because the tower in itself is something that changes your root, or change your roots, or changes something around you that is no longer really familiar. So it's actually upgrading you in some way. And again, you are now in a different role or in a different position, or you're moving toward it. It's the ability to with others, combine your strengths with theirs. It's all of those things, but it's really suggesting that a lot of groundwork is being put in here. And again, the Wheel of Fortune indicates that it's the right timing. Three of Pentacles, you're aligning with that moment. The only thing is these are the clarifiers, and the main energy out is about staying in balance and kind of dealing with the immediate, because again, there's a collaborative effort. There's more of a connection that seems to be fairly strong in the month of April. The Tower and the Hierophant also, again, for sure, some kind of sudden upheaval or awakening. So it's almost like it's a liberating energy, though, because of all of the other cards. So whatever power was, it's liberating you to find a new path that's a very grounded path. It's a new place where you can establish yourself. Again, it's requiring structure, tradition, belief systems, all of that. But it's also in that stage of awakening you to the things that you once thought were, was true and real, and it's shifting it. So it's almost like you're having to let go of an old idea or mindset and able to move into this space. And that's what I feel is happening. And again, Wheel of Fortune can be that card of moving it a little bit further out, but either way, there is still something here that speaks to dealing with a long-standing institution. Again, it can be government, it can also be school, it can be any kind of employment that introduces more of a corporate energy, that kind of thing. However, that again, affects all of you. It's going to be speaking to you all a little bit differently. For example, you're not all making a decision on the Tuesday, and so based on that, some of you will work through energy a little faster than others, but overall, the energy does suggest some kind of more changes to your traditional, values, or something that's something that you hold true, something to do with your belief systems, which is going to liberate you in some way. Because that Hierophant, it does represent conformity and structure. So again, perhaps you could be breaking free from that societal pressure, but it almost feels like, because it's followed up with that Ace of Pentacles, it feels like you are going off on your own, stepping away from something that and again, I don't know how that specifically relates to you. I don't see it as a job change or anything like that, but it might be something you're doing in addition. But either way, it is for you to kind of go in a direction that you feel is going to build up with more meaning. So again, there's something here that deals with spirituality, faith, tradition, and it's like a suddenness, towards something that is collaborative. So we might clarify what that is as well, because again, there's a little bit of mix on that. Okay, so what is that? What is that energy around the Tower and the Hierophant? What is the Tower and the Hierophant? What is the Tower and the Hierophant? What is the Tower and the Hierophant? And again, it's going to speak to all of you a little bit different. Okay, well, you are going through something where you're having to release, and there is something that's still unknown. What is it that you're having to release? What is it that you're having to release? What is it you're having to release? And what is the unknown with the High Priestess? Okay, it's like you're sitting on something. You're keeping it quiet. Something that's kind of surprised you. Something that you've been wanting to manifest that is tied around your ultimate happiness. You're very worried about this coming forward. Because I think it was met with, some kind of disappointment in the past. But again, it's coming through more of the unknown. Now, the Hierophant is, all of the elements of, and that's what the Tower is. So we'll kind of start out with what we've got there. Okay, so again, I mean, the Tower and the Eight of Cups is definitely leaving something behind that you, that you weren't able to, because something's changed. So you can't continue to drag it along. This is something that where you're searching for deeper meaning, and especially when I see the Hierophant out here, or the Hierophant and the High Priestess, it really does feel like you're searching for deeper meaning. You want something that's more fulfilling here, and this is about finding more of your higher purpose. And so I feel like you are walking away from something that was once important, and you're looking for something that has deepening and personal growth for you, and again, possibly even spiritual fulfillment on some level. The fact that the fact that we see that leaving behind, it might have been after a crisis of some sort with that tower, suggesting that you will go through or you have gone through something sudden or dramatic of a change. And again, there's something there about, looking for detaching yourself away from it, is almost what it's coming down to. It's like a feeling of becoming detached and walking away in search of something that has more meaning for you. The spiritual awakening or the shift, again, with that tower, also some kind of a revelation that you're coming to. Again, it's where you explore those deeper desires and your purpose and this path that you're on. And I feel like, and that can also go across the board with relationships and career and other areas of your life that were unfulfilling that you're wanting to fulfill. So again, there's something there about some aspect of your life is coming to an end, or that chapter is closing in a particular way, in lieu of a more fruitful, growth filled sort of direction that aligns better with your emotional and your spiritual needs. So I feel like you are, moving. It may have been a bit of a sudden shift or something that's taking place in April, but whatever this is, there is an opportunity. And again, it feels like it could be further out, because these are also clarifiers. The main energies are, again, just about creating balance, some kind of contractual thing, where you could be dealing with a court system or dealing with a corporate energy, anything like that. But it feels like something that is helping you to pursue or align more so with your passions and long-term goals. Um, and again, either way, I just feel like whatever the upheaval was or that change, it feels like it might have been a little bit intense, but aligning you with your most authentic self. And again, a lot of worry around what this is, but it is tied around your happiness, because of course the Ten of Cups um, is that you are trying to align yourself with. Again, there are the clarifiers, but the Ten of Cups and the Magician does indicate that this is high manifestation. This is, the ultimate emotional fulfillment and happiness that you're aiming for. It's something that will be lasting. And it does feel like this is something you're aligning with now, more so. It can also indicate a loving family or a supportive partnership or deep sense of peace and happiness. Again, it feels a little further out, because, again, you're still in the manifestation of that. And not only that, I'm also seeing Seven of Pentacles. So it's like a bit of a weight and a sitting on something element. So again, the Seven of Pentacles does indicate that there is something that you're seeding the possibilities or the potential for, but it hasn't quite, manufactured into something specific. It will impact over the long term, though, further out. It will impact family environment. It will impact, peace in your home and anything that, will be allowing you to feel more emotionally connected. So whatever it is that you're doing, continue on with the focused effort, because there is something very intentional that and able to create the harmony and the satisfaction. But it's going to be a little bit further out, because Ten of Cups and the Magician, you have all the tools, you know how to make things happen. But again, that combination is still it's still ethereal and trying to bring things down into the practical. So again, whatever you've been working on is still happening, and it is going to something is manifesting. But again, it's just there's an element of an unknown factor here. And again, High Priestess, it's you coming off, with you coming off with a little bit of mystery. It's not, revealing all. There's a certain hush hush sort of energy around it. But again, it's a lot of energy around seeking deeper truths and deeper spiritual connection to discover yourself, basically, and access that higher knowledge. So again, whether this is through meditation or dreams or just deep reflection, either way, I just feel like you're exploring that in this period. um And of course, with the moon and all the rest of it here, the High Priestess does indicate that, you're very intuitively connected here as well. So I just feel like there is hidden potential. There's a hidden potential here, is what I would say. And again, seeking hidden knowledge, but you have to just trust the process, because you're exploring your inner world here. And by doing so, this also kind of moving into some of that emotional feminine energy as well. And so again, in terms of a relationship, it's unspoken feelings, it's where things need to be explored, but it's still encouraging you to follow along with your intuition, because this is all you can do at this time. but it is a time for quiet introspection to understand your emotional needs within the relationship. In terms of a career, trust yourself, your intuition in going forward in the direction that you want, because you know that if you wait for the right moment to take action, that patience will be, advancing you in some way. But overall, it is still the realm of the unconscious. So I just feel like your answers are coming through patience, reflection, and internal rational thinking as well. Okay, let's go into the next ones here. So again, we're kind of into the money cards on this one. So when I see the Two of Swords, um, the Two of Swords, in terms of money, it just feels like there could be a little bit of a stagnancy. It maybe that there's a choice that you have to make, or that there's some blocked emotions. Twos are definitely about relying strong cards here that rely on partnership or something working out here, but it's a decision that is also involving someone else. So there's something here about that with the Two of Swords. Again, it's not the most favorable card in terms of finances. It could be something is procrastinating, you're procrastinating, someone else is procrastinating, but either way, it's a certain level of stagnancy, and it feels like you are still weighing out your options in a lot of respects here. Protect your energy is still where that's at. And again, even in terms of um, it's also got a negotiation kind of feel to it. I don't know, because there's so many other people in this reading, but there's something of a past connection. Again, this could be around a child here as well that you're having to make some decision about, and it feels like it is. It feels like you are, like, even in terms of your finances, because this aspect is a little bit more along that. When I did ask the question, you will resolve the problem, even though something felt like it was at a standstill. Um, it might be a tense feeling around something from the past as well here, which gives you a sense of fear or uncertainty. But overall, the six balances out, so does the two. But because I have the Seven of Cups in here as well, I mean, that is that uncertainty. So it's almost like you have either too many options, too many choices, a lot of confusion around a situation, a lot of confusion around something from the past. But Two of Swords and Six of Cups, um, it, and the Seven of Cups, a lot of emotion tied to this. So I just feel like you are kind of in that space of trying to make a decision between two situations. Either it's two financial options, careers, paths. You're weighing the pros and cons of a situation. You're feeling blocked in regards to something from the past. Could be child energy here as well, something that's preventing you from moving forward. No action is really being taken around this particular area, but it feels like it's a state of uncertainty. So you're gathering information, you're considering all goals before you take action. Again, there's something here about, you being, again, torn between two options or struggling between two options, whether this is stocks or bonds or real estate or whatever, but you're trying to balance that out. And so you're kind of caught between two financial priorities, is what I see there, about which debt to pay off if we were to break it down even more. But there's something here that's urging you to sort of face the truth and then take action on it, because we do Seven of Swords. So there could be someone that is not being upfront with you, that's the deception or something there, or lies or whatever, or something there that's not quite. And this could be around the Knight of Pentacles, somebody who generally represents as somebody who would be quite practical and reliable, almost like either you're having to create a strategy around this situation, or this person is kind of moving in a space very slowly, trying to excuse me, so, trying to, I would say, connect to, like, they're organizing the practical matters, something like that. So whether this is you or someone else, but again, here around a childlike energy or a younger person than you, it does feel like there is a need for you to set financial goals, stick to them, stay on budget. Finances will improve steadily with this card here as well. Again, it's a little further out, it's not your main energy, but overall, I feel like you are still balancing everything out in terms of finances, because there's a lot of cards that speak to that, not only with those is slow energy, but there's also the Four of Wands. So I feel like you have the resources. There's nothing to have to concern yourself with, and it's in as far as that. Again, there's a little bit of juggling of those resources, but everything is sort of falling into place regardless. So, like I said, just the Two of Swords, that Six of Cups, and the Seven of Cups, it just feels like there's some kind of mental blockage where you are feeling like, you're emotionally not able to go forward. As I mentioned, difficult decision here. Um, and you refuse to make that decision. And again, it could be tied around nostalgia or something around a childhood memory, emotional connection, reconciliation, or revisiting that situation. But either way, there's nostalgia coming in here for this period. And you're doing a lot of thinking about, how things were, what things, you know, you're just doing a lot of thinking about daydreaming about something from the past, and maybe a little unrealistic, but again, there is confusion around the past and the present choices and how you want to go forward. So there's something here about multiple options, but like I said, it's kind of driven by a fantasy or an unrealistic sort of feel. So it's kind of like take the rose colored glasses off. Because it's familiar and comforting, you also have to sort of see things it's disrupting your view of reality. So you have to see through that and, make a choice or a decision, not to cloud your thoughts by the past, and keep moving forward, basically. So again, it's you doing a lot of reflection in this area. Could be dealing with somebody who's younger here or something from the past, but there's a lot of confusion in something with regards to, I would say, probably a connection there. And also, it could be just reconnecting with your emotional needs, something that was long standing from the past, again, because there's something that's changed there. And so this is you feeling nostalgic about that, the things that you're letting go of. And so you realize that it's unrealistic, and it's almost like it's important for you to ground your decisions in the present reality because you're getting swept up in what could have been. So again, even in terms of finances, you're trying to free yourself from the emotional attachments of the past. So either way, keep moving forward is basically that message there. Face the reality of the situation, and don't get lost too much into the dream, the fantasy, and just be cautious about your choices. Okay, going on to the last cards out here, and we also have the energy of uh, the Four of Wands. Now, the Four of Wands is, again, pretty stable. That's your main energy out here. A lot of the energy for April is finances. Paying off debts is kind of what I see there. But the Four of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles, again, this could be dealing with somebody, who is nurturing and practical and really deals with money in a favorable sort of way. Like they don't make any rash decisions, not high risk takers, anything like that. But it's you're in making the goal, achieving the goal in a nurturing way and being protective of the things that are important to you. So it could be Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo that's important here as well. But whatever your decisions are in this month, it seems like they're all very practical. It seems like they're all based around family and home. You're building on your achievements. You're not impulsive. There's a lot here about not being in a hurry, and you're doing things sort of by the book, and you're doing things in a really, slow, methodical way. So either way, the money situation is still pretty good and probably better than it has been because there has been more cooperation here. Even though you're still really anxious about a situation that's relative to the past, so however that comes in here, but either way, I do feel like this is things are starting to click into place again. Even with the Two of Pentacles, it still feels like there's a little bit of a juggle around, trying to adapt to things for time and energy and balance out your day to day. But, so you might be still spreading yourself a little bit thin here, but there's something here about readjusting and finding the right balance. So I feel like you've got very skillful manipulation in the things that you're doing in this period. And it definitely feels like the financial situation is quite fluid and everything is still moving along. Like I said, I feel like you were looking for very spiritual, deeper purpose in the period of April. And it still feels like there is a lot going on as far as spiritual reading or spiritual connection, and whatever that is for you. Again, meditation or books or however that resonates. But I just feel like even with that Three of Pentacles coming up out there, you're establishing stronger routines and you're focusing on the things that help you to build up your skills. So whatever that is, learning, studying, hard work, commitment to your goals, I do feel that that's the strong point, and there's a lot of dedication here. And I feel like you are working with a talented team of people because of that Three of Pentacles, but a lot of energy here about really laying down a balanced foundation. Could be around books, could be around lectures, could be around discovering, how personal relationships might be maturing here in some way, but either way it's taking something to the next level, um, in terms of level in loyalty or in terms of skill level. But either way, there is really strong energy about stability being at the forefront here. So for the most part, I would say this is really what I'm looking at is, you're really trying to achieve that nurturing, happy environment. Hi, Adita. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I don't think name calling is really appropriate, but whatever rocks your boat there. Um, anyway, but the point is it does suggest some kind of achievement that is supportive, nurturing environment. So, again, there's something here I feel sort of signals stability, and even in terms of balancing out um, elements of your life, it feels like that's really what the big milestone is here for you. The combinations are very powerful, and they definitely speak to, more practical environment for things to keep moving forward. So I feel like, really after what your long-term success is for the month of April. I might just pull one more card here as far as what is the main energy out for the month of April. What is the main energy out for the month of April? What is the main energy for the month of April for Libra? Something is going to be coming in quick, and what is it that's coming in quick? Could be dealing with a sign here, or a water, Cancer, Aquarius, Pisces. What is the information coming in? Something about finances or something about independence, something around, check that out. I might just do, it could be harsh words here as well, but Knight of Swords, and that's also father figure. That can be father figure there as well. Yeah, there could be something there. So again, Knight of Swords and King of Cups. So it is a mature energy. And the Knight of Pentacles. So I do feel like there is something here that kind of speaks to a level of independence, or some kind of control, emotional maturity. Could be personal success, something about a period of decisive action while maintaining your emotional stability, but really enjoying something about something swift that's coming in. Again, lots of mental clarity, cutting through the obstacles. And what else? What is this Nine of Pentacles energy? It's communicating with a direct approach. And again, a lot of maturity and wisdom, balancing out the emotions. And what is in self-sufficiency? What is the Nine of Pentacles? Seven of Wands. Okay, well, the Seven of Wands still speaks to the same. So really enduring a situation, and definitely is, energy around having the upper hand in the situation. Spiritual maturity. It's also being a little bit more on the, it also kind of speaks to choosing your battles wisely, but it's also afraid of being hurt. There's a certain level of putting up walls. You're getting clear. You're stronger than you were before. You're getting clear on what it is you want. And I feel like you're really maintaining yourself, meeting the challenges that are coming through in this period. So you might be tested by someone who is around a water sign or mature energy, but there's a strong reaction to something either way. that's sort of, but you're not giving into, is what I would say there. You're not giving into that. Um, but yeah, I just feel like you're balancing out your speed with emotional control here as well. The King of Cups, teaches you to temper your ambitions as well, so that there's more patience and understanding in the situation. The Nine of Pentacles reinforces that idea that, balance will lead to personal fulfillment. You're not achieving success for the sake of it. You're doing it as a way to bring peace and satisfaction to yourself. So this is emotional mastery. But again, it's indicating that there's also emotional balance that's essential for achieving material success. So stay calm under pressure, and you'll be in a better position as far as sustaining yourself. So either way, I feel like overall does indicate that there's a lot of assertive drive and action and ambition, a lot of emotional maturity and understanding in this period. And again, there's a certain level of independence, and I feel a certain level of mystery and quiet um, energy. You're improving without being showy. You're trying to maintain emotional depth and personal growth and a balanced mindset. And again, it's integrating both the intellectual and the emotional sides of things, but that's how you're achieving this level of independence and fulfillment. There's a high level of self-sufficiency and confidence here. So sure, I feel like you're well positioned to achieve that as the main energy that's coming here. Let's just ask one last question here. For the month of April, what would be the obstacle? What would be the obstacle for April? What is the obstacle for April for Libra? Obstacle for April for Libra. Okay, what's coming in quick? Balance, 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 and something that you need to sort of balance. These are all the cards at the bottom. And again, we're still dealing with the unknown element and sort of waffling between those elements. But there's nothing but balance in this read. So I don't know if it doesn't. To me, again, Temperance and the Eight of Wands. With Temperance, for sure, you are looking at moderation with a situation, and the High Priestess. So I feel like that combination kind of speaks to finding the middle ground. You need to stay in the middle ground 100% in the month of April. I don't know why, but that is really significant here. You're protected, very, very protected in this period. You're really following your intuition, but there's a strong importance on following your intuition. And that's how you need to navigate the process in the month of April. It's a rapid time of growth and transformation for you spiritually, is what I would say, to find this emotional equilibrium. So that's what I have for you for the month of April. That feels pretty life-changing. So keep moving forward, guys, and never give up. And let's try to not do the name calling thing, because I think this is less about, what we think sometimes we believe versus, because sometimes we get an idea of what is good and what is bad. And if I thought everybody who had blonde hair or dark hair was good or bad, then I think that would be, a little bit narrow-minded. So let's not do the name calling. Sorry, because I noticed a couple on there that had done some weird comments. Again, that kind of speaks to maturity levels. So let's just try to keep it a little more on the upscale. All right. Anyway, as it goes, keep going forward.